Hello everybody and welcome to another round of English Championship predictions. It's been a busy week in the Championship with a 3-game week for all our teams. We had the games last weekend, the midweek fixtures just gone, and of course the upcoming games this weekend on Friday night and Saturday afternoon. So we start with a mouth-watering clash on Friday between West Bromwich Albion and Southampton. Southampton, of course, ending their long fantastic club record unbeaten run to Bristol City in midweek. I took in some of that game on TV, and it was a case of the side not expected to win, raising their game as they do in these often do in these situations, and Southampton not coming up to their usual high standards, and therefore that was the outcome. And I think on the night Bristol City deserved their win for sure. So Southampton get back on the horse, as it were, and they've got a tough game at West Bromwich Albion, but it's probably just what they need, rather than having to go to a game or have a fixture where they're expected to win and the pressure back on them straight away. This is a game where they've really got to be at their best again to come out on top. I think they will recover in that way, and I think they're on TV again, so they won't want to sort of slip up twice in the space of 4 days in front of the cameras. So I think they'll go to West Brom and reassert their authority as one of the top 2 or 3 best teams in the division. And I think they'll come out on top. It'll be a good game, well worth a watch. I think it'll be West Bromwich Albion 1, Southampton 2. But as I say, that should be a cracking game on Friday night to kick things off for the weekend. Then we go into Saturday, and we stop off at Saturday lunchtime with the other form team in the division, Leeds United. They're going down to Plymouth. And Leeds are just fantastic. They've won 5 on the trot now. They've won their last 5 matches, and they've now got second place owned at the moment. Yes, Ipswich and Southampton have a game in hand, but Leeds' recent run has really put them in the picture. And they were my tip at the very start of the season to be in the top 2. They've taken a long while to get really going and showing their worth, but they're on good form now. I think they'll go down to Plymouth as they did at Swansea in midweek and just put on a confident performance. Plymouth mid-table, okay at home, to be fair. That's what's keeping them afloat in this division. But I think Leeds will go down there and do what they do and put the points away for themselves. And I think it'll be Plymouth Argyle 1, Leeds United 3. That's on Saturday lunchtime. Then all the other fixtures this weekend are on Saturday afternoon. So it's a busy old afternoon ahead on Saturday. And we start with Birmingham City and Sunderland. Birmingham coming out on top against their previous manager, but 2 now, in John Eustace. It's funny how these, as I said the other day, how these fixtures come up. However, Birmingham came out on top in a tight match, and I think they'll do the same again. Sunderland still having sort of not really firing on all cylinders yet since the new manager took over, but they're getting a couple of decent results. But I think Birmingham will back up their midweek win, and they'll come out on top against Sunderland, and it'll be Birmingham City 2, Sunderland 0. Then we have Southampton's conquerors, Bristol City, taking on Queen's Park Rangers. And if Bristol City are going to make any impression at all on that cluster of teams vying for 5th and 6th place, this is the game that is probably more pressurised than any of the others they've played in recent weeks. They've beaten Middlesbrough, they've beaten Southampton, and they've really got to put home a performance now against Queen's Park Rangers. Otherwise, it takes the edge off their recent performances. Queen's Park Rangers desperately need, they can see Millwall coming into their sights, I think. Millwall on a bit of a nosedive, and Queen's Park Rangers just the wrong side of the relegation line at the moment. They had a good away performance last time out. They're beating Blackburn Rovers, so they'll give Bristol City a good game. But I think Bristol City will back up their recent good performances and follow it up with another home win on Saturday. Narrow, but because they don't score many goals, Bristol City as a rule, that's their big failing. And I think they will come out on top on this one, though. It'll be Bristol City 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1. And we have the 2 H's, Huddersfield and Hull. Huddersfield just clambering away a little bit now from the daylight between them and the bottom 3, 5 points. And they're showing a bit of stiffness now in their performances. Yeah, they're just starting to put together a few results. Hull City had a couple of blips, but they did have a decent win away at Rotherham on Tuesday night, albeit after going behind in that match. So yes, I think it'll be another tight game, not much in it, and I'm going to take a 1-each draw for the 2 H's. Huddersfield Town 1, Hull City 1. Then we have Leicester and Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough have really had a bit of a poor run in recent weeks. 2 draws and 2 losses in the last 4 matches. They can go to Leicester and sort of forget their troubles a little bit and just give it everything. Nothing to lose, no one's expecting them to win, and when you're in that situation, you can sometimes come out on top. However, Leicester are just marching along very nicely. Every time we look at the table, they go another point clear, or they've gone even further clear. And they're 12 points clear at the moment with 14 games to go. So they're almost home and hosed, 14 points clear of currently Southampton in 3rd. So they can relax, go and play their football, entertain their fans, and I think they ought to do exactly that. And it will be Leicester City 3, Middlesbrough 1. And next we have Millwall versus Sheffield Wednesday, a real dogfight at the bottom of the table. Millwall going completely in the wrong direction at the moment, 4 losses in their last 5 matches, and only a draw to show in that time. And Sheffield Wednesday starting to show a little bit of form. They had a decent home win last weekend. And they really do need to, if they get, this is their match, I think. This is the one they really got to close the gap. They're 7 points behind. If they can drag Millwall into it by beating them on Saturday, it'll be a real confidence boost for them. And I'm going to, perhaps a little bit against the odds, because they don't win many away from home, Sheffield, but I'm going to take Sheffield Wednesday to take the points here. In a tough game it'll be. But I think Millwall's woes are going to continue, and I'm going to go Millwall 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2 to really close up that gap at the bottom and get everyone's nerves shredded. And then we have Norwich and Cardiff City. Norwich scoring goals, just ticking along quite nicely at the moment. They're one of the 4 teams on 48 points in that cluster that's vying for 5th and 6th. They're 7th at the moment. The goal difference is only +5 against some of the others. That's costing them a point, really, if you like. However, I think they will continue their recent decent form. They've only lost once in 5, and I think they'll comfortably beat Cardiff at home on Saturday. I think it'll be Norwich City 3, Cardiff City 0. Then we have Preston, North End and Blackburn. Blackburn will be very disappointed about losing to Birmingham in midweek, and Preston had a good win against Middlesbrough, so I think again Preston, one of those teams on 48, and I think they will. I think they'll take the honours against Blackburn. Another tight game. Blackburn a little bit unpredictable at the moment, but Preston at home, can see that playoff place just on the horizon for them there, maybe, as long as amongst many other sides up there, really. But I think, yeah, in this particular match, it'll be Preston North End 2, Blackburn Rovers 1. That brings us along to Rotherham and Watford. Rotherham now almost done and dusted for them, unfortunately. They're 14 points behind Millwall. And it's only 15 games to go. When you get to having to make up a point a game, it's almost impossible to do in the Championship. This stage of the season, teams are where they are for a reason, and Rotherham are bottom because they just haven't been able to get going this season at all, unfortunately. So I think they're going to be a bit despondent, I think, generally at the moment. Watford, though, having a real old poor run themselves, 3 losses and 2 draws, has probably slipped them away from going in the direction of the playoffs at the moment. 41 points, 7 points behind the 6th spot. However, I think they will sort of stop their slump a little bit this weekend. It's a chance to do that anyway. I'm going to take Watford to take the points. Rotherham United 1, Watford 2. 2 games to go. Stoke City against Coventry City. Coventry had a last gasp equaliser against Plymouth down at Plymouth in midweek. Stoke had a decent win at home, and I think they'll back that up with another home win. Although Coventry are in the top 6, I think a defeat for Coventry here will open up that playoff spot for some of the other chasing teams. So I'm going to take Stoke to win this one and really put relegation perhaps as not a distant memory, but a decreasing problem for them. So I'm going to take Stoke City to win this one by 2-0. Stoke City 2, Coventry City 0. And finally Ipswich, who finally got back to winning ways after a really tricky month for them. However, that tricky month has left them only 3 points behind second spot, so they have a real chance to get their composure back and stay with Southampton and Leeds at the top there. A really good 4-0 win at Millwall in the week. Surprised me a bit actually to go there and win so comfortably. Maybe that's a testimony to how poor Millwall are playing at the moment. But Ipswich, showed their mettle in front of the cameras on Wednesday evening. Down to Swansea, who got pummeled by Leeds 4-0. So I think the visit of Ipswich is not going to help their cause too much. It's a tough old fixture list to have in the space of 4 days. But Ipswich come to town, and I think it will be Ipswich Town that take the points. It'll be Swansea City 1, Ipswich Town 3. So that is the predictions for the end of a very interesting championship week. We see, again, it'll be interesting. I mean, the league table takes some studying after every set of games at the moment because it's so tight. Teams moving around, teams are putting pressure on each other. It's all good stuff. And I hope you have a great footballing weekend. And I will speak to you again soon. Bye for now.